Hello and welcome to this presentation, Why Repeatability in Strain Matters. From a historical perspective, probiotic use in livestock has often been critiqued due to a lack of repeatable results. Great variation exists between strains of bacillus-based probiotics, and this is no more apparent than when comparing the genetic diversity within Bacillus subtilis species. These differences may impact the ability of that strain to produce enzymes capable of digesting needed feedstuffs, produce pathogen-inhibiting metabolites to outcompete other microbes for nutrients, and most importantly, for the purposes of this discussion, interact with a host. Strain truly does matter. Christian Hansen conducted a set of PRRS challenge studies. In the first such study, we were able to demonstrate that through feeding of an effective probiotic, body weight and survivability can be improved post-PRRS challenge. In this 28-day nursery study, pigs fed BioPlus 2B gained nearly 1 3/4 pounds more than controls, and despite a high challenge mortality, BioPlus 2B fed pigs realized a 35% reduction in death loss relative to those same controls. Similar to body weight and survivability, average daily gain and feed to gain were both statistically improved when BioPlus 2B was fed. A second PRRS study was conducted looking at the combination of PRRS vaccination and BioPlus 2B feeding in the face of a PRRS challenge. As in the initial study, body weights and feed to gain were statistically improved over controls when pigs were fed BioPlus 2B and or vaccinated. Necropsy of selected animals demonstrated that BioPlus 2B feeding significantly reduced the severity of gross lung lesion scores. Reduction in the lung lesion severity likely played a role in the improved performance parameters during the post-challenge period. Let's take a look at some of the ancillary measurements from a specific subset of animals followed during this study. Before going into great detail, it is probably worth narrowing in on a specific area of this chart. Day 28, or 7 days post-challenge. This chart shows the PRRS virus specific interferon gamma response. Response is quite aggressive in the modified live vaccination only group. And response is lagging behind in the non-vaccinated non-BioPlus fed group. However, both groups fed BioPlus 2B, and regardless of vaccination status, demonstrate a similar response, and more moderated one at that. Recall what was seen with the chart of gross lung lesions. Control animals had the most severe gross lesions on average, and the two BioPlus 2B fed groups had the lowest amount of gross lung lesions. What about the gross lung lesions of the vaccine-only group of animals? The interferon gamma response, while highest, could be a bit overly aggressive. There is a name for this phenomenon, a cytokine storm, and these can result in severe lung damage when highly pro-inflammatory cytokines, such as interferon gamma, are produced in excess. Let's consider a second immune response. In this chart, we are looking at the antibody development in response to the PRRS virus challenge as measured by a serology test known as a PRRS ELISA. While this test is not highly informative with respect to development of a protective immune response, it is apparent that BioPlus 2B fed animals developed ELISA-detected antibodies more rapidly than did those animals that were fed a control ration. The astute observer will also have caught that only 2 treatment groups are represented in this visual. At the point of PRRS challenge, day 21, those pigs that had been vaccinated as part of this evaluation were all serologically positive to PRRS virus and remained so through the end of the study. Another means of indirectly assessing immune response to PRRS virus infection is by observing the percentage of animals with circulating virus and further quantifying the amount of virus that can be found in circulation. Whether due to direct immune activity or other immune supporting processes, time to negative is a fairly universal industry measure of how a population is ridding itself of a PRRS viral infection. When considering the percentage of animals that are PRRS PCR positive, it is no surprise that vaccinated animals would be positive prior to challenge and non-vaccinates negative, but that rapidly changes and all animals tested from all treatments are PRRS PCR positive on days 28 and 35, or 7 and 14 days post-challenge, respectively. This picture begins to change some by day 42, or 21 days post-challenge, as several animals are no longer PCR positive. No animals have been excluded because of death, but 3 animals tested PRRS PCR negative at the final sample collection point of the study. Interestingly, all 3 animals were from a group that was fed BioPlus 2B, independent of vaccination status. Looking at the relative quantity of virus circulating per pig, it is important to focus on days 28 through 42, or 7 days to 21 days post-PRRS challenge. As vaccine has played a role in the amount of circulating virus prior to challenge, non-vaccinated pigs had no circulating virus due to no prior virus exposure. As the study nears day 42, or 21 days post-challenge, it is interesting to observe circulating virus concentration decays along the lines of feed treatment. The 2 groups with the numerically lower circulating viral quantities on day 42 were both fed BioPlus 2B. While not all variables are of statistical significance, pigs fed BioPlus 2B more effectively manage their immune response to the PRRS insult, as evidenced by moderated interferon gamma, more rapid antibody development, fewer PCR positive pigs 3 weeks post-challenge, and reduced gross lung lesion scores in addition to performance maintenance. Both studies described were initiated similarly. Sows were top-dressed with either BioPlus 2B or a control product. This feeding program began a minimum of 31 days pre-farrowing and continued through lactation. Piglets weaned from dams fed BioPlus 2B continued with a BioPlus 2B ration in the nursery, just as piglets from a control-fed dam continued on a control ration in the nursery. The program described as a cost-effective, safe, repeatable solution for your operation and a demonstration that strain matters. BioPlus 2B, a 50-50 blend of Bacillus licheniformis and Bacillus subtilis, is easy to deliver and can be adapted to any feeding practice or program. Hopefully this presentation has been interesting and informative. If you have any questions, please reach out to your Christian Hansen representative. Contact Dr. Keith Kinsley at uskeki@chr-hansen.com or visit our website at chr-hansen.com. Thank you.